My name is Jeremy Bullmore. My background is advertising, but for the last 20 years, and I officially retired 20 years ago, I've been with WPP, first as an independent director and now on the advisory board. And I also have a kind of outside life, writing columns for trade press and Guardian and so on. But there is no one word or phrase that describes what my job is, which is why it's so wonderful, really. All my life, from early school onwards, I always came bottom in maths and bottom in most things and top in English, and I think that's quite a familiar state for lots of people. And writing is what I knew I could do. And fast forward to university, where I got very involved in writing things for the stage, review things, rather like the Oxford equivalent of the footlights. Some of that was finally televised by the BBC. That was 1954. The director at JWT wrongly thought that because the work he'd seen was on television, those who'd done it must know something about television, which was entirely untrue. They just picked it up from the stage and photographed it. Anyway, he asked one or two of us, sent a letter saying if we would be interested in a job in advertising, would we come and have a conversation, which I did, and was offered a trainee job as a trainee copywriter in JWT. And entirely chance, I hadn't thought of advertising, but I did know that these were one of the few companies that paid somebody who enjoyed writing to write. And I was there for the next 33 years. Well, I enjoy family. Have been married for 51 years, got 3 children, 8 grandchildren. They take up time, but mostly pleasurable time. My parents split when I was about 5. I don't remember my father at all, although I later discovered that he had once worked in advertising. But I don't think even at some kind of subconscious Freudian level that had any influence whatsoever. My mother was not a very well lady, and I don't think she had any interest in my having a career of any kind ever. I mean, she wasn't that interested that I went to university. She certainly, and I was sent down after 2 years because I was reading English and getting nowhere, and I was just doing all my writing. She didn't seem to mind at all. She was much too wrapped up in it. So I had no family influence at all. When you know a trade as well as I know advertising, you know that there are good bits and there are not so good bits. When you think of other trades that you've never worked in, you're aware of the good bits, but you're not so aware of the bad bits. So I think if somebody said to me, if you were starting again, would you start in advertising? I'd probably say no. And after 6 or 7 years, I'd probably bitterly regret it, because it has been full of surprises and extensions. There's no limit to what you are encouraged to explore mentally. And I don't know whether that's true of other trades, but I've certainly been grateful to this one.